Hello everyone. Today actually I'm not doing a review video. This is not a review video. So why do I say so? This bow here is AF's Ling Que bow. And because you can't really pronounce that name, I don't think you can pronounce the name. So let's call it a Korean because it kind of looks like a Korean bow. So this bow here, AF no longer makes them. So I'm not trying to promote this bow, but it has come to my attention that this bow here, I kind of regret not selling this bow earlier. This is a underrated bow. It is really underrated. The price is really good. This bow, when AF was selling them, it was something like, I think, 130 US dollars. It's a very cheap bow. And even though in terms of appearance, it looks a little bit cartoonish because it has 4 color options: blue, red, green, and pink. It doesn't look like a very serious bow, but it actually shoots really darn well. This bow I brought in for my students because it's a very affordable bow. And I kind of like, when I look at the photo, this bow, it looks like a very efficient design, and it's cheap, so I get them for my students. When I receive them and I shoot them, oh my god, this bow is actually really good. And it's regrettable that the market doesn't seem to buy this bow. And it's kind of strange to me because it is a good bow. So why people don't buy it? I think it has to do with the price. Even though it's a very cheap bow, there are cheaper bows, and those cheaper bows actually don't shoot as well as this one. But for beginners who are looking for cheap bows, they won't talk to you about quality. They will talk to you only about price, on the cheapest, the cheap one. So as a result, the beginners don't buy them, and people who are looking for quality bows, they look at this one like cartoon. It looks a bit like cartoon, right? With the cute colors. They just feel that this doesn't look like a very serious bow, and they just kind of skip them. And as a result, nobody buys them. Until I test them and I'm like, wow, this bow is actually really good. Okay, I'm gonna kind of just show you some of the features of the bow, even though it's not really a review. I just want to show you that what makes this bow good, so that the next time when we see bows like this, you should keep it. You should buy one, maybe for your friends. Not buying for your friends, but maybe if you have family or children, you want to buy a beginner bow for them. This kind of design is really wonderful. And if you have friends who are interested to start up archery, this is the kind of bow that you really should recommend. Okay, let's go through some of the very simple features. I'm going to tell you both the good and bad that I think about this bow. If you look at the tip here, it's super simple. It's super simple. It doesn't even have the sears. It doesn't have the sear, and I do not think that this tip here is reinforced. This is actually one of my concern. I do not think that this piece of ear here has any reinforcement. I asked AF, but they told me it's reinforced, but I do not think that it's reinforced. Okay, but anyway, the tips here are made very light, very light, because it doesn't have a sear. And because it doesn't have a sear, this is an entirely working limb, in which it is tapered here, wider, and narrower here. So the bending profile it has more bend on the outer edge than here, which is a good thing because it puts less stress on the handle, so the bow would be more durable. And without the sear, there's again one thing less to worry about: less breakage. Then the other thing that I would really praise is the handle. You see, this bow here resembles the Korean bow significantly. Okay, it is really resembling the Korean bowl. In price point is actually very close to a Korean bowl, like Kaya bowl, Nomad bowl, this kind of Korean made bowls. But I don't usually recommend Korean bowls to any of my students because their arrow pass here is as wide as their limb. As a result, the arches paradox is significant. Your arrow kicks significantly to one side because it's so thick. But in this case, they make it much closer and more similar to the other bowls that I'm familiar with, like the Turkish bowl, the Tatar bowls, Ming bowl, whatever bowls. They have a slimmer arrow pass and then increase back in thickness for the grip. Let's have a look. Okay, so this is a lot narrower than the Korean made bows. It also comes with this crazy horse leather, which is very nice for entry level bow. And they use ray skin. This is stingray skin. However, the only one thing that I hate about its arrow pass is that they do not polish it. So this is like raw ray skin, very rough. When you shoot your arrow through it, it won't damage the bow. It damages your arrows. Okay, because this is like sandpaper, so it damages your arrows. So that's why I have a tape here to protect the arrows, not protecting the bow. I'm protecting the arrows. You could just take a file and sand it down yourself, but this bow really underrated. How underrated? It is the cheapest laminated bow in AF's catalog when they were selling it. When I tried it, the smoothness is better than their Turkish and Tatar bow. And this is cheaper by a lot. It also shoots faster because it doesn't have the extra weight of the sear. It shoots faster than the Turkish and the Tatar. Guess what? When you shoot them, the post-release hand shock vibration, it has less of that than the Turkish and Tatar. So, performance-wise, oh, this is good. For this price, this is a better bow than the Turkish and Tatar from AF's own catalog, own model, and it's actually the cheapest one. So for beginners, I would definitely recommend this bow. But unfortunately, I guess there isn't much demand for the bow, and with the rising cost, inflation everywhere, they dropped the bow. They axed it. So this is discontinued. It's no longer available. But I just want to talk about it just because I think that it is really underrated. It deserves better attention when it was available. Yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching.